And you know, at the end of the day, man, Suge was the boogeyman of hip hop.
Yeah, I think that his approach probably he was probably the last one that could do it like that, because you probably had a lot, you know, like Big Red and Five Heartbeats.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of Big Reds in the game. You know, people know the names, but I think that, you know, with the social media approaching, with the fascination of pop culture, like, you know, when Pac and Biggie died and the shit, it really was the shit after that that he continued to be. I'm not a music mogul. I'm a kingpin and a music mogul. And it's like the industry, I feel like when he did he had to go do the Violation after Pac died. And when he came out, it was an uphill battle for him because the industry was scared of him. But he still had all those cars. He had the building on Wilshire. He had a lot of shit. And I just think it was a chess game from there. It had a lot of lawsuits and just things. There probably was a team of people that could have kept that together.
Yeah,
but it didn't happen.
Yeah, Reggie told me that the reason why he really lost everything was that when he got out, he just wasn't dealing with the lawyers.
The lawsuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just ignored all the
and
depositions.
he ended up defaulting on a suit because he didn't show up to court, and the judge said $250 million. You're done.
Yeah.
The end. Just for not showing up.
Liquidated everything.
Liquidated everything. Lost everything. Boom.
And then he still kept the persona, which even at that point, there probably could have been ways to tuck shit away, you know, do stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but even on top of that, like,
let's just use MC Hammer for instance. We all felt like the story of hip hop says MC Hammer went broke, but people who know Hammer know that's not true. That could have been the same story with Suge. Oh, Suge lost $400 million, but he wouldn't have lost everything.
Man, everyone wanted to fuck with Suge. Like, you know, people have asked me this all the time. Like, oh, would you do an interview with Suge? I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I've been in the same room with him.
And when you get to the point where, and
because, you know, and the thing is, would it be an incredible interview? Absolutely. But the persona and all the shit you hear about him makes people, professional people with money like myself, say, not worth the trouble. You see what I'm saying?
It was a lot of things, man, and I feel like in hindsight, he probably looks back and goes, why did I keep pushing? You know, now we got the TMZ cameras all over Hollywood. We keep seeing Suge popping up in altercations right outside of venues and stuff. And even the night he got shot, they told him that he couldn't come in the club.
Yeah.
And he literally pushed him out the way.
Yeah.
And let himself in the club and went inside and got shot. And walked out with the bullets.
Yeah, I mean, he was pressing people.
That is kind of boogeyman-ish to say. He walked out. How many was it? 5 bullets?
Something like that.
He walked out. Who the fuck can do that?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's some Tupac shit right there.
He walked out.
Yeah.
And then went like sat down or something and waited on the ambulance. like if I shot somebody 5 times and the motherfucker walked away from me, I would be like, what the fuck just happened?
Is that a vampire? Is this like
I know that fucking bullets
undead zombie in my idea?
Yeah, that's
right here.
That's you know, the legend of Suge, man. I think that the Suge Knight movie, the ending, if it's like jail and all that, whatever, but not the ending. I'm just saying the Suge Knight movie of how he became Suge and what he did as Suge, it'd be a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, Death Row.
Because his story is a different version of the NWA story. It's not the same story. And he did, no matter what you want to say, Harry O's involvement, Dr. Dre's contributions, Eazy-E, whatever you want to say, Suge did put that fucking Death Row shit together, and that shit was fucking huge. He did do that.
100%.
And that shit really happened, so.
100%. And the catalog is still amazing. The impact is huge.
You don't want to respect the journey, you got to respect that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. People are celebrating, other people are mourning, but it just is what it is at this point.
Yeah, man. I hope that people learn from, other people's mistakes, man. Like, none of us, I mean, I never had an opportunity to touch 400 million building a record label mogul shit. Like, that shit is, man, come on. That's Barry Gordy, bro.
No, I think when you look at like a TDE, people like Top probably looked at the Death Row story and said, okay, here's what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
Here's a blueprint that I could avoid because
from the same city,
Same city. Yeah. You never hear of anyone getting beat up or drinking,
look
drinking urine at TDE.
Bro, look at Dr. Dre. How much credit do you give Dr. Dre for walking away? Just walking away from something that he like, it's yours. And it's millions. And he's like, I don't want it. That is a very fucking large statement. That's a very fucking bold move. And that shit must have weighed so heavy on him to not want to be a part of that and to say, actually, I don't even want my share. That's deep.
Yeah.
Who would do that?
Somebody who has a track record like Dr. Dre, who said, I could probably do it over and bigger. And he did.
Yeah, but who would walk? Everybody would go do it bigger and better and still fight for what? Like, give me my shit too.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, Dre and Suge was not on the same page at that point from everybody that I've talked to. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing of like, like I remember I interviewed Michelle A, who said, we talked about the Suge situation, and she said, Dre would never have, because Suge said, oh, I had a meeting set up with Dr. Dre, and she said Dre would never have met Suge in Compton. Suge probably shouldn't have shown up to a place where Dr. Dre was.
Dr. Dre was there?
He wasn't there, but the story, and I don't know how true the story is, but the alleged story was that Suge went there to try to talk to Dre, because I guess Suge was being portrayed in the NWA movie, but he wasn't part of the movie and so forth. No?
I can say this. Dr. Dre would have never met Suge Knight there.
And I think that was kind of the cusp of the story. Was, you could say, well, self-defense, I just got beat up, I was trying to drive off. But you look at the whole situation and you say, Suge should not have been in Compton for the Straight Outta Compton, film set.
Yeah.
He was not invited. He was not a welcome participant.
That's what I said with the hindsight. When he looks back, he could probably pinpoint those moments where, damn, I should have did like this. But, man, I got love for Suge, man, and I hope that he gets through this shit, man. Like, no matter what the rest of his journey is, maybe he'll appeal something, get some time knocked off or something.
You never know. The laws may change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?